beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to this week's episode of the Quantum Business Queen podcast. I kind of want to start theming all of this around really powering into the next level energy, the next layer of transformation, the highest timeline that is available for you to tap into, because oh my gosh, 2024 is really about picking you up and having you land where you were meant to be. Not to say that you don't put any work in, because, the work is required, and, 90% of what you experience is all of this internal work that we get to continuously do. So with that said, I want to bring to you a really, really powerful conversation that was had in a mastermind that I am in. And oh my gosh, it just gave me so many chills. And I have a feeling today is going to be a short conversation, but a potent one. I want to give you a potent hit with some beautiful golden nuggets that you can carry with you that will help lead you on your path and help to amplify you. Like, I am really feeling this energy this year. I have really made a commitment to myself to up-level everything. I mean, up-level everything. I'm up-leveling every single container. I am going to be offering 3 different ways to work with me. The Quantum Business Academy is really up-leveling, so I'm really tailoring it toward people who are already doing 8 to 10K months who want to scale to 30K, like really going to up-level the strategy that we get to embody to nail 30K months for these beautiful souls. I have another container, which is a magic manifestation and marketing, and this is a basic 3K container. However, if you really want to work with me in a mastermind, this is a prerequisite now. So you got to do the 3K container before you come into the Business Academy. Otherwise, you need to at least be running 10K months. So I'm going to put these processes in place so my business feels up-leveled and without me really having to do much. The Quantum Coach certification is a total revamp. I am up-leveling all the energy in that. And so this all feels so exciting and so potent for me. So one of the major things that I am doing to ensure that I hit my goals for 2024, and goals is a process. Goals is about really stepping into the best version of yourself every single day. It's not about like going for the actual end thing. It's about how can you do these little daily tweaks and daily amplifications in all aspects of your life. So for me, well, it starts with my morning routine, and I'm going to take you through it because I know you guys are all going to ask, what is my morning routine? And structure has been really crucial for me. Now that I'm living on my own, and especially when you work for yourself, you have to give yourself some sort of structure. Your business requires structure. If you want it to be a business and not a hobby, you have to have the structures in place. And so morning routine, it's like you want to have things like churning for you so you don't have to think about it. It just becomes automatic. And when powerful habits become automatic, that's actually when they become life-changing. So write it down. Have it all automatic. So it's like a robot. You wake up and this is just what happens. You don't have to think about it. This is how you can really automate your transformation subconsciously. So have a morning routine and write it down. First thing I do is I work out depending on, the time of year or whatever, when sunrise is happening. So right now in Australian Eastern Daylight Time, it's around 6 a.m. So I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I go outside and I ground. And sometimes this does not happen because we've been having a lot of rain. Sometimes I do it regardless, but grounding is a really, really powerful. Connect with the earth's energy, get those negative ions buzzing in you. And then you want to get like the first hit of sunlight, which is you don't have any UV rays during that time, during the sunrise. And so when you can get sun rays, you're activating your pineal gland, you're activating all these really beautiful hormones. And I really set powerful intentions and ground to the earth, which there's so many healing effects when you connect to the earth's energy. And this isn't woo-woo stuff. This is scientifically proven. So I connect to the sunlight and I connect to the earth first thing in the morning. I Google, I make sure I know when the sunrise is, and then I get out there. I've also been drinking hydrogen water. So I have a water bottle that hydrogenates my water, and look up all of the benefits. It is crazy what hydrogen water does, not only in terms of nutrient absorption. It has been known to reverse a lot of things like autoimmune disease and all sorts of chronic illness. And apparently it is one of the healthiest types of waters you can drink. So just Google hydrogen water bottles and you will get water bottles that will hydrogenate your water. So I have a glass of that. Then I do 3 rounds of breath work. So this sounds like a lot, but literally this doesn't take long at all. All of this might take 15 minutes. I then go for a walk. I then do 200 squats and wall Pilates. My stretching then happens after that. I have a frequency mat, which energizes amethyst and black tourmaline crystals. So if I can't ground, I'll do this regardless. I lay on this mat and it just amplifies my energy like no other. It is so healing. And so whilst I lay on that mat, I also do red light therapy. I know this sounds like a lot, but really, I get all of this done by like 7:15 a.m. So I wake up at 6 and my beautiful, powerful morning routine is done. Then cold shower, and then I do scripting. Scripting is like writing. It's like writing your future. Like, this is what you get to do. This is what you choose as a non-negotiable. I script out my life every single day because I'm choosing it. I am in the driver's seat. So if you're not doing any sort of scripting or journaling, you're massively missing out. And obviously with scripting, you want to make sure that you're writing it in the present tense, meaning I am so grateful and thankful that I am celebrating 300K months. That is one of the things I'm scripting at the moment. And I add lots of gratitude because gratitude is an amplifier. Appreciation is an amplifier. And you are talking about a future vision as if it is the case now. And for those of you who know anything about manifestation, that is the quickest way to pull things into your reality. So that is my morning routine. I ground, I get the sunlight, and I get the hydrogen water. Easy. I do 3 rounds of breath work. So it's like deep breaths, and you could do 3 rounds of 10 or 3 rounds of 15, whatever you feel is going to be effective for you. Like if you work up to 3 rounds of 30, that's brilliant. Then I walk, then I do wall Pilates, then I do my 200 squats. I stretch, and then I do my mat and red light therapy. Cold shower, script. My day is amplified by 7 a.m. I'm ready to rock and roll. Then I do my to-do list. And I make sure I know what I'm going to be doing because I could easily get distracted, turn on music, and start like just singing my day away. But I have a checklist of things I get to do. It's a get-to-do list. And I get to do all of these things that excite the hell out of me because my business is so automated. To be honest, there's not really that much I have to do during the days. And sometimes, like, for the amount of money my business makes and the effort I put in, it sometimes worries me. I still get caught in the paradigm of, shouldn't I be doing more for the amount of money that comes in? But no, I get to rewire that. I get to amplify new empowered beliefs. That is, none of it has to do with the physical exertion or effort. It all has to do with beliefs and frequency. And I act when I feel inspired, and I act when things need to get done, because sometimes things do need to get done. So my to-do list is not extensive. I can show you how to automate your business. I can show you how to be in the right energy and embodiments for things to come to you. I have had, over the past couple of weeks, 2 random clients literally come out of nowhere that were not in my audience who have come and joined my mastermind for 14K. $28,000 manifested from what feels like nowhere, but I know it comes from embodiment. And so this is how it gets to be, because this is what I believe. This is what I script in my reality, and you can have this too and beyond. And I know my vision and my next timeline is way beyond, because it's 300K months and it gets to happen with ease, and that's way beyond. So I'm excited because it's done and because that is what I choose. Now, I want to talk about some things that happened in the conversation in Mastermind today that really gave me chills and really helped me to amplify all of this really powerfully. And because it helped me, of course, I'm going to give it to you because it's going to help you as well, which is very exciting. Also kind of gives you insights into what it feels like to be in a high-level mastermind. Like, this is so important. If you want to be doing big things, the biggest part of this is getting yourself in masterminds with a coach that is doing the things that are doing the things you want to do, that have experienced and accomplished the things you want to experience and accomplish, because then it becomes a normal, because it's their normal. So when it comes to one of the questions we're asked, like, a few of the people are ready to step into 7 figures, and the question was asked, what identity do I need to step into in order to hit 7 figures? And transformation is always the biggest thing. It's always the identity shift. And one of the biggest mistakes that can happen is that you try to embody the identity of somebody who's running 7 figures. Now, that might seem contradictory. When you do that, however, you are severely limiting yourself. So let's say you're wanting to hit 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. What you need to do is step into the identity of the person that's well beyond that. So, for example, if you're wanting to step into 6 figures, then you need to tap into what does it feel like to be running multiple 6 figures or $500,000 a year. Because 6 figures, you're going to limit yourself, and you might land somewhere within that range or a little bit below that, but you want to be overreaching for multiple 6 or $500,000, because when you're embodying that energy, and if you land slightly below the $500,000, you're going to go beyond your goal. So for example, if your next goal is 7 figures, you need to be tapping into the identity and the energy of what it feels like to be running an 8-figure business. What does it feel like to be doing $10 million per year? How does it feel to be a boss bitch running a multi-million-dollar business, not just a 7-figure business? So when it comes to the identity work, you need to 10x the vision and the identity, and ask yourself, what is the multi-million or the $10 million version of myself doing? Or what is the $500,000 version of myself doing? Reach beyond what your vision is, because you will land well above what your expectations are, what you're reaching for in the first place. That is a really powerful tip and tool, my friend, that will help expedite your results in the most insanely powerful way. One of the biggest issues with identity work is people just go too small, and then they limit themselves, and then they fall below what they wanted to do, and then doubt, and then the downward spiral starts to incur. So the other thing you want to think about is something called divergent thinking. So, it's important that we have our vision. It's important then next we step into that identity and feel what that $10 million version of you feels like, or a 7-figure version of you feels like, or a multi-6-figure version of you feels like. That is step 1. Step 2 is we need to start backing it with our beliefs. Our beliefs are the main things holding us back. We are only experiencing what we believe to be true. And so, oh my gosh, we need to peel back the layers of beliefs. And so one of the best ways to do that is we need to get the ego on board with this. And divergent thinking is a really powerful exercise to help your mind and your ego believe that this is possible. And so what is divergent thinking? It is, you need to come up with all of the possible ways. So let's say 10 different ways that you can be rocking a 7-figure business, an 8-figure business, or a multi-6-figure business. So then your mind will look at all of the possibilities and go, oh my gosh, this is more than possible. Not only is this possible, but there are 10, 15, 20 different ways that this is actually going to happen. And so when you start looking at divergent thinking, what actually starts happening subconsciously is you are wiring beliefs that not only is this possible, but there are so many different ways that this could happen. one of the ways we sabotage ourselves, so we are too attached to the how, which I always say is never our job, or we need to be able to see the exact path to our vision or our goal. And if we don't see the exact path, our ego doesn't believe it's possible. So feed the ego what it needs. Get into divergent thinking. Start thinking of all the different, there are so many different ways of making $1 million online. It's crazy. And we were talking about it in my mastermind. We have there's a girl who is running 7 figures organically, and she does this purely organically with content. That is her way. That is her path. And then there's another girl who hardly does any content at all on social media. However, she automates her business through funnels, and that's how she's created her $1 million business. And she has funnels that have generated millions of dollars. And so you have to figure out what feels aligned for you, knowing there are hundreds of different ways. There are so many different paths, and you get to tap into the ones that feel amazing for you, knowing that business is not one size fits all. Business is all about alignment, tapping into what gives you joy, putting in the work, and doing the inner stuff that is required in order for you to hit that next level in business. And I just love that, by the way. Like, don't you love that there are so many different ways that you get to achieve your goals in business? It's not, if you look at somebody creating amazing content online and you think, oh my gosh, I just don't have the inspiration, or that just doesn't align with me. Know that there is a strategy that aligns with the way that you want to do business. And that's what gets to be exciting. Like for me, I do content online. I just randomly had someone add me on Instagram and 2 days later join a mastermind. Content works. However, my emphasis is going into automation, because I know when I can automate something, it is a data game. It is a numbers game. I was talking to the Business Academy and I said, we're going to build businesses. I'm going to teach you how to build business through understanding the laws of creation, through understanding the quantum, but then back it with data-based strategy. And for me, my ego sings with joy. There is nothing more delicious than that, because I know in my mind and my heart and my soul, all of it is done. And I love it. And for me, that's the easiest way. It is the easiest way. And it gets to be easy. All of it gets to be easy. $1 million gets to be easy. Multiple 6 figures gets to be easy. The other thing is, here is a really, really important one, because you want to make sure your goal is aligned. If you are pushing for a goal because you feel like it's something you have to achieve, that is not an aligned goal. Okay? Now, you really need to be honest with yourself. Is this goal coming from a desire, or is this a goal that is coming from a place of, well, it's just something that I should do? And if it's a goal coming from trying to fulfill some sort of external unmet needs, that is never something that's coming from a desire. And if it isn't coming from a desire, anything you create will be manufactured. And that means everything you're doing in your business will feel forced. It will feel like you're pushing shit uphill. If it comes from a sheer desire, it means everything you are creating is being soul-led. That means you're going to be working from a place of divine inspiration. That means you're going to be working from the energy of that timeline is already done. Your soul is just trying to lead you there by way of your desire. And I always say that the desire are the breadcrumbs leading you to that next level timeline. So get legit and honest with yourself about your goals. This is absolutely crucial. My beautiful mentor was talking about when she was doing like a couple grand a month, she had this desire to just do $35,000 the next month. It wouldn't have made sense. It wasn't logical. It wasn't probable, but it happened anyway because it was a desire within her. There was something burning in her that said, we're going to do this. This is going to happen. I have this desire to prove to myself that this is the next leap, and it was a quantum leap. And this just goes to show that results are not linear. Things can happen quickly, and they can happen fast, and they can happen in a big way. And oh my gosh, I cannot tell you, nothing lights me up more than witnessing that in my clients and seeing that happen in their journey. So let's do a recap. Morning routines. I mean, this is something to amplify your frequency. For me, in my 2024, like in order to hit the next level goals for myself, I am doubling down on my frequency, which means my processes need to be automated. My morning routine needs to be automated. I need to wake up and not need to think about it. It's already in place. I just take the action. So morning routine is number 1. Stepping into my 10x identity. What is the $10 million version of me doing? What am I thinking? How am I giving back? Like, what am I doing? How am I fueling myself? How am I taking care of my health? Like, I want you to tap into the 10x identity. Whew, it's powerful. I love the energy of that. Divergent thinking, because we need our ego to believe that is possible. Come up with a million different ways that this is possible for you so you can start anchoring in the beliefs that it is already done, because it is. And is this a desire? Is it coming from a desire, or is it coming from something that you think you should do? This is super, super important. So what I'm going to end it with was a quote. So my mentor worked very closely with a Kundalini master, and this Kundalini master gave her some really powerful advice and said, remember that you are royalty. You are sheer God, crystalline light consciousness walking through this experience. I need you, and this is what the Kundalini master said, I need you to walk through life knowing that you are in the room and you light it up because you are royalty. Don't ever forget that. Anchor in that knowing, that divine knowing that you are royalty. And I want you to illuminate every room that you walk in because you embody that knowledge. Anyway, beautiful soul, I'm going to leave you with that today. And if you want to know how you can work with me, how you can become a certified quantum coach, how you can nail magic manifestation and marketing, or how you can scale to 30K months, please get in touch because this is the year to do it. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.